Alright guys, I wanted to talk about what I plan to do in Season 2. Um, the first thing I plan to do is, on the oval side, is run the NASCAR iRacing series, which you've seen in the past that I've been running. I think we're 9 weeks in, and the last race was Richmond. And the next race is going to be Talladega. We're going to have some interesting tracks coming up. We're going to have Kansas, which I hear you have to run against the wall, and I always like to run on the low side. Even at Kansas, I still do. Um, I'm not how sure how well that's going to work, but I might give it a shot and see if I can be competitive down there. If not, I'm going to have to run next to the wall. And and then we have the Charlotte race, which is a 400 lap race for us. So I'm assuming that survival is going to be the key there. Take it. Well, actually, it's been the key for the whole series so far. And so then we're going to run some other interesting tracks, like Dover's a tough track. We're going to be running the first road course, which is Sonoma. And that ought to be interesting. Gen 6 and the power of the Gen 6 car on a road course. Probably have to take it real easy, and then we're going to be running Daytona again. So that should be some fun stuff during season 2. I'm also going to be running a new series for me, which as you see on the screen, which is the late model. I'm going to be running this full time during season 2. And the first track we're going to is the new Smyrna track, and which this practice is on. And I'm going to be running that car, which is the Edina Hornets car, which is where I went to high school, but I still love that logo. It's a favorite logo I've ever worn in my life. So I decided to plop that on a car and ride that. We're going to be also going to some other interesting tracks. The Lucas Oil Speedway, the brand new one, which we're going to be going to, and a racetrack that has only 3 corners, which is Concord Speedway, and it's a very interesting track. Um, it ought to be quite interesting in the late model. I'm actually looking forward to that. And then I'm going to be running the National Series. The National Series is a fixed setup series, no cautions. Well, I should also let you know the late model is an open setup series with no cautions. But there's enough people on the forums that share their setups, and I certainly appreciate that. That allows someone like me, who really doesn't know that much about setups, to try them out and do some slight tuning on the little bit of knowledge that I have. But getting back to the National Series, that's that fixed series. You see me race at one. I ended last season was called the Peak Stock Car Dream Challenge. I raced a few of the races, but this time I'm going to race them all. And first track is going to be at Richmond. But some interesting ones is Bristol and the Lucas Oil Speedway, which we're going to see, and of course Charlotte. But they also race some nice short tracks, and that's kind of what I'm getting back down to. Is I think I've kind of shown that I am a safe driver, and now it's time to try to be a little bit more competitive with that safety that I have. So I'm gonna kind of go back to the basics and run some short track stuff. But then of course there's some other series that has me interested in. It's like the open setup for the trucks, uh, the Class B, which is a nationwide car. Don't know if fixed or open. Kind of depends on if there's any kind of setup I can find or anything like that. And then the Class A fixed, which is the Gen 6 car, and they pretty much follow the NASCAR iRacing series schedule, so it's good practice for that. So that's what I plan to do on the oval side. Should be kind of a fun season on that. On the road side, I'm going to concentrate on 2 series. The first one is going to be the Mustang Challenge. I think I've raced the last 4 races in the Mustang Challenge in season 1, so season 2 I'm going to do a full season. And it's an open setup uh, series. Um, and I think I got a pretty decent setup. Basically, the only change I make is add some gas to it and to weigh down the back end. But we're going to be starting on the Charlotte road course and a couple interesting other tracks. So we're going to run the new one, which is Circuit of Americas, and one of my favorites, which is Bathurst. I enjoy that. And then the other full-time series I'm going to run is the GT3 Challenge. You've seen a few of those races I've done. Going to really try to up my competitiveness in that series. And I didn't buy the new BMW, but I have two of the other cars, which is the McLaren and the Rough. And depending on what the track and how I feel is going to be what I run. And the first race is going to be at Watkins Glen, but the other interesting ones are Circuit of Americas and Bathurst, and my favorite road track, which is Brands Hatch. And we'll see how I do in those series. And some of the other ones that I'm thinking about, just running some periodically and sometimes, is the Global Challenge, which drive around the Cadillac. It's a fixed series this season. And I think the key pretty much for that series is to be able to control that car. Sometimes it's a little tricky. But I feel like I can control it pretty well, so I might run a few of those races and see how I do. Um, and I don't know, it might be fun. They race some fun tracks, and it's a fun car. And then doing some spec Ford Racer stuff every once in a while, and some Skip Barber Series stuff every once in a while. They're actually going to the New Hampshire road course, and I've seen that in one person's video, and I thought that looked interesting, and I might want to try that race. So just to recap, on the oval side, I'm going to run the NASCAR iRacing series. I love that series. You know, it's the best series on iRacing, no doubt about it. It's a lot of people run it. I know there's also the open setup one, which I don't run, and that's just because I don't know how to set up cars, and no one's going to share their setups for that open series. So the fixed series is good. It's really popular, and I have a lot of fun at it. And the late models, which is going to be brand new for me, I only ran a couple of races so far in iRacing in the late models, but I'm going to give it a full shot. And then the national car. I'm going back to these D-Class series races to learn how to do short tracks better. And basically because I skipped them when I first started iRacing. I skipped these series, and I feel bad about it that I fast-tracked kind of up, but I don't know, it worked for me. I wanted to race some of the other cars, and I felt like I was kind of competitive in a lot of the higher series, and I can control my car, so I don't feel I did too badly there. But I do want to race these series. And so, anyway, I'm looking forward to a fun season 2, and hopefully I can create some nice videos for you guys to watch. Hopefully I can be more competitive in certain series, and hopefully it's not boring watching me race alone, especially on the road tracks. But it should be quite fun. Anyway, this is my practice of my late model at New Smyrna, and just riding around, and I felt pretty good because I can actually hit 18.3s here, which I hear the real fast guys are doing 18.1, 18.2. Oh, there's my spin. So I felt pretty good about that. Bye bye.